Hello and welcome. This is an English lesson for the second year of high school. The title of the lesson is Preparing for a Job Interview, and my name is Lana Kovač. After this lesson, you will be able to distinguish between the main parts of a job advert. You will be able to give your own personal examples for the skills required for the job. You will know how to answer the most common questions asked at the job interview, and you'll know which questions to ask yourself, and you will also know how to appropriately dress for the job interview. For this lesson, you will need something to write with, a notebook, a device with internet access, QR code scanner, and don't forget you can pause the video and replay it whenever you want and as many times as you want. Let's start with some general tips on what to do and what not to do at the job interview. Follow the link and do the task. You're now going to read a text on how to prepare for a job interview. Follow the link, read the text, and do the task. The key will be on the following slide. And here is the key. 1E, 2F, 3D, 4H, 5C, 6A, and 7G. As you have read in the text, most job adverts follow a similar pattern and are usually categorized by the following points. The first one being job title, department. The second one being duties and tasks, or what your main responsibilities are going to be. And then there are skills that they are looking for in a person applying for a job. Follow the link below and do the task. Put the things listed in the right categories. Now, when you can distinguish between the duties and the skills required for the job, let's see what to do with them. It is extremely important to be able to give an example of a situation that demonstrates you have the skill that they are looking for. For example, if they are looking for someone adaptable, you need to be able to demonstrate an example of when you were adaptable. For example, I changed school in my second year of high school and immediately hit it off with my new classmates and teachers. Or, in the Christmas show, one of the hostesses got ill, so I had to step in the last minute and managed to pull it off quite successfully. This is my example for being adaptable. Pause the video, read the text, and fill in the gaps with one word only. And here is the key. I have worked with kids as young as 5 in language schools and primary schools in Croatia, England, and New Zealand. I have also worked with adults and retirees in Croatia and Argentina. Furthermore, I have worked in secondary schools in Croatia, in both vocational and grammar schools, both mixed and predominantly boys' schools, and in England, where the majority of my students and colleagues were Bengali, Chinese, or South African. I have taught English, Croatian, and Spanish, 2 different age and ethnic groups. In all the environments I have found myself, I have never had issues adapting quickly and always cooperated well with everyone. If a company that you were applying for a job with was looking for a calm and confident problem solver, what example would you give them to show that you are a calm and confident problem solver? Write down an example situation where you acted as one, and then send it to your teacher. Let's now imagine that you were applying for a teaching position in Earlsmead Primary School in London. You should check out their website and write down at least 5 points that you think are important and that you think might be useful to know and can somehow be related to you. I have given you some examples on the following slide, but check them out after you have written down your 5 points. And here are some points that I have written down after checking out their website, and I'll tell you why. The first one is Healthy Schools London Gold Award. I find teaching students about a healthy lifestyle extremely important, and I try to instill in them the importance of physical exercise and healthy eating. I also used to organize healthy breakfasts in my previous school. The following one is lifelong learning. I believe that you should never stop learning, and I should just give my students the tools they can use later in life themselves. Next one is inclusion and tolerance. In this day and age, inclusion, tolerance, and mutual respect are of utter importance, and it is something that I can't stress enough to my students. Another one is the importance of mental well-being. I believe the awareness of mental well-being should always be raised, and I have implemented mental health workshops in my teaching. Then we have the green team. Why do I find that important? Well, because I'm a huge environmentalist and I always teach my students about the importance of recycling. And the last thing I have written down is that the school has a pupils' voice area where students can express their ideas and their opinions. I think that's also very important because we can then all work together to make a school a better place for everyone, and it is important everyone at school feels happy.
Hi there, my name is Richard, and in this tutorial I'm going to tell you the 7 most common interview questions that I recommend you prepare for. So it does not matter which job you are applying for. If you have an interview coming up, make sure you stay tuned because I will help you to pass your interview. And to achieve that goal, this is what I will cover. I'm going to give you the 7 most common interview questions that I guarantee will come up during your interview. I will tell you what the employer wants to hear in your answers to those common interview questions, and I will also give you brilliant example answers to common interview questions to help you succeed. Let's jump straight into it. And the first most common interview question is, tell me about yourself. Now, this might be posed as introduce yourself, but it is your opportunity to showcase the skills and qualities you have and to also explain how you will get up and running in the role quickly. So when you answer the common interview question, tell me about yourself, make sure you use positive keywords to describe yourself. I will tell you what those are in a second. Number 2, talk about how your experience is a match for the job description. And finally, tell them what you will do in the role if they choose to hire you. So, here is my example answer to the first most common interview question, tell me about yourself. I am a positive, enthusiastic and confident person who, over the years, has built up lots of experience that I believe is a match for this role. For example, in my last position, I often had to deal with customers whilst following strict customer service standards. I was required to work alone, unsupervised, and also as part of a team. And I also had to work under pressure, completing different tasks within strict timescales. Now, I have read the job description for this role, and I am 100% confident I can excel within the position. If you hire me, I will get up and running quickly, I will fit into the team seamlessly, and I will work consistently to a high standard. That is a brilliant, positive answer that sets you up with confidence for the rest of your interview. Let's now move on to the second most common interview question, and that is, why do you want to work for us? So this is guaranteed to come up during your interview, and in your answer, it is important you show you have carried out some research into their company. Make sure you talk about any positive news stories you have seen. So it's important you visit their website, go onto their About Us page and find out a little bit about what they've been up to recently, and then you can talk about it in your answer to this question. And number 3, explain how their values are a match for your own. Here is my suggested answer to the common job interview question, why do you want to work for us? Because we spend so much time at work, I carried out lots of research before applying for this job. Everything pointed to the fact this is a great place to work. I noticed you've recently carried out some charity work in the local community. Your current and former employees all speak highly of you, and the products and services you create are all very much well received by your customers. I am looking for long-term employment with the same company, and having read your company values on your website, they are a clear match for my own. I believe this will be a great place for me to work and somewhere I can continually grow and develop. So that is another brilliant answer to that common interview question, why do you want to work for us? So make sure you prepare your answer to it. Common interview question number 3 is, what's your biggest weakness? Now, again, this is guaranteed to come up during your interview. Do not give a weakness that is a match for the job. That's really important. So, if you are required to work as part of a team, don't say, my weakness is I prefer to work alone. I don't like working with people. Number 2, don't say I'm a perfectionist. So many people say this to this common interview question, and the interviewer will see right through it. It is important you give an honest weakness, but say how you are trying to improve. So how do you answer the question, what's your biggest weakness? Here is my example answer to help you. That's a good question. I would have to say my biggest weakness is I find it hard saying no to people. Now, in the past, this has resulted in me taking on too much work, and I find it hard to get everything done on time. However, one of my strengths is that I am always seeking to improve, and when I don't have the capacity to take on extra work, I am learning to politely say no. That's a great answer. The next common interview question number 4, is, what are your greatest strengths? So again, this is going to come up during your interview. My advice is to give 4 strengths that are appealing to every hiring manager, and I will tell you what those are in a second. Make sure you try and match your strengths to the job description, and also back up your strengths with evidence. How do you do that? Here is my example answer to the common interview question, what are your greatest strengths? Here we go. My greatest strengths include my desire to continually learn and improve in the role I occupy, the fact I am a very fast learner, the way I always complete tasks and projects to a high standard, and my customer service skills. For example, in my last position, I was praised by my manager because customers would often leave good reviews online after I had served them. I have read the job description and I feel confident I have the necessary strengths to meet and exceed the expectations of this role. So that's a brilliant answer because you are giving 4 appealing strengths there, and they are appealing to all hiring managers. And then you are giving an example of how you demonstrated one of them in a previous role. The next common interview question, number 5, is, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Now, you need to say you will still be working for their company. That's very important because they will be investing lots of time, effort and resources into getting you up to speed, so they want to see a return on their investment. Show some enthusiasm and say you will hopefully be working in a more senior position, and also say you will offer to help train up new members of the team when they join the organisation. So here is my example answer to the common interview question, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I am seeking long-term employment with a company that has ambitious plans and where I can grow and develop. Now, on that basis, I still plan to be here working for you, either in the same role or perhaps having gained advancement to a more senior level. I would expect to be a fully respected and reliable member of the team, and I would also take great pleasure in helping train up newer members of the organisation as and when they join in similar positions. I'm sure you'll agree that's a great answer to that common interview question. Let's move on to common interview question number 6. And that one is, why did you leave your last job? This is a very difficult, common interview question, and we need to be careful how we answer it. Do not, under any circumstances, be negative about your last employer or manager. Make sure you're complimentary about them and talk about something you both achieved. And good reasons to leave a job include you were looking for a fresh challenge where your skills would be put to better use. So let's take a look at an example answer to the common job interview question, why did you leave your last job? Here we go. I left for the simple reason I felt I was ready for a new challenge. I achieved all I could in the role, and whilst the company wasn't stagnating, I wanted to work somewhere else where I'd experience new people and new challenges, all whilst working for a company that had exciting and ambitious plans for the future. That response will do you no harm whatsoever when you answer the question, why did you leave your last job? Common interview question number 7. And that one is, why should we hire you? So this question is likely to come up towards the end of your job interview. This is your opportunity to sell yourself. So you really have to try and shine in your answer. Talk about how you will add value in the role. That's really important. You want to demonstrate that you are going to add value in the position you are applying for. Talk about your track record, your previous track record of achievement. So here is my example answer to the common most interview question, why should we hire you? You should hire me for 4 main reasons. Number 1, I have the necessary skills, qualities and experience, and that means I can get up and running in the role very quickly. Number 2, I am a great team worker, which means I will fit into your team with the minimum of fuss, and I will always put the team goals above everything else. Number 3, I am a strong communicator, which means I will always treat your customers and clients well. I understand the importance of repeat business, and my interpersonal skills will ensure that happens. Finally, number 4, I am commercially aware. I understand that for your business to be successful, I must add value in the role to at least the cost of my own salary. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you all the best for passing your job interview. Have a brilliant day.
And here are the 7 questions. First one, tell me about yourself. Number 2, why do you want to work for us? 3, what's your biggest weakness? 4, what are your greatest strengths? 5, where do you see yourself in 5 years? 6, why did you leave your last job? And the last one, why should we hire you? And here are some examples of the questions you should ask the person interviewing you. Watch the video and write down the questions. Now, when you know how to demonstrate the required skills, how to answer the most common questions, and which questions to ask yourself, let's see what you should and shouldn't wear at the job interview. Follow the link and do the task. And here you have some suggestions. And finally, you're going to prepare yourself for a job interview. I would like you to open the 2 links and choose one of the jobs. After that, you have to read the job description and then choose 2 skills required by the job and give examples to show that you have those 2 skills. Then, I would like you to research the company and write down at least 3 key points about it, explaining why you find them important. Then, you will answer the 7 questions from the listening task on slide 15 and think of 3 questions you would ask at the interview. And finally, get dressed appropriately and take a photo of yourself. There is a checklist on the following slide. Make sure you include everything in your preparation and then send it to your teacher. And here is the checklist. Have you chosen 2 skills required by the job and given examples to show that you have those 2 skills? Have you researched the company and written down at least 3 key points about it, explaining why you find them important? Have you answered the 7 questions from the listening task on slide 15? And have you thought of 3 questions you would ask at the interview? Have you got dressed appropriately and taken a photo of yourself? If you have, tick the right box. If you haven't, go back and do the things you haven't done. You could even act out the interview in pairs. One of you could be the interview and the other the interviewee. You can record yourselves and then send the video to your teacher. We have come to the end of the lesson. Before you go, I would like you to check whether and how well you can do the following things. So tick the correct box. I can read the job advert and distinguish all the parts of it. I can research the company I am applying to work for. I can give my own examples for the skills required. I can answer the most commonly asked questions in a job interview. I can think of 3 questions to ask the employer. I can dress appropriately for the interview, and I can distinguish between what to do and how to behave, and what not to do and how not to behave in a job interview. I hope you have enjoyed the lesson as much as I have. Good luck with your task, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.